For United fans everywhere, this is the ultimate football app for you. For match highlights, interviews, and the best Man United videos and podcasts. Download the free United Reds app now from the App Store and Google Play.
The shout now. Well done, Bobby Johnson. Well done, Manchester United. Beckham. It's a Sheringham. And Solskjaer has won it. Radisson saved it. United again. Ready! A magnificent goal by Robin van Persie.
Welcome to United Hour, your official Red Cafe podcast. I'm your host, Ashwin.
And I'm Imran.
All right, so we're recording today, January 30th, right? So that's the day after the second leg against City, and the day after news broke that we were signing Bruno Fernandes officially.
Yep.
So
There's not much that gets me back on the pod, but a new signing in January, that's what brings me back.
So it gets the blood rushing.
Literally my first podcast appearance of the season. So Bruno Fernandes, I have to turn my microphone on and just speak with joy.
Is this your first appearance since PSG away?
Was I on PSG away? I can't remember now, to be honest with you.
I think
it's my first appearance of the season. So yeah, I chose basically losses to Liverpool and Burnley and beating Tranmere 6-0 and a pointless win away at City. That's what gets me going. Random second leg wins that don't mean anything.
Well, we won the first half too, which is key.
Well, on our WhatsApp group, Nick likes to keep track of what halves of football we win. So according to Nick, we should be going to Wembley because we won. So if you go by halves, we actually won 2-1. This is real football math.
Yeah, so I guess let's talk about the City match first. What were your thoughts about the overall performance?
It was one of the most bizarre games of football I've actually watched for quite some time. It was we played well, despite a lot of our players being really shit. And City were good, despite the fact that literally when we presented them the ball 6 yards from goal, with basically just a hair to shoot at, they would decide to pass instead. And it was one of the most odd games of football you're likely to see. City could have scored 6, decided to score 0. We somehow scored a goal out of nothing and then managed to make City panic so much that they literally couldn't pass the ball 5 yards. There was 10 minutes in the second half where City could not pass the ball 2 yards to each other or control a football. It was really random.
Rodri gave the ball away like 3 or 4 times in a row in the second half, I remember.
I swear Kyle Walker let the ball roll under his foot like 3 times.
He did. Sterling did that in the first half too. Sterling was shit in that match. Sterling is always shit against us. I don't know what happens to him.
He has a mental block against us that's really... You can tell, you can see the cogs turning in his head for everything he does. Even that offside goal, no reason to be offside.
No,
literally, he's getting ahead of himself in his head, like, I've got to score this. It's really weird. And that chance he had there was basically one-on-one.
He took forever.
Decided to it's really odd, because he obviously is a fantastic player. Although he has been off form a little bit of late.
He hasn't been good this year. He started off really well, but he's been pretty poor the last couple of months.
Yeah. I hope he just gets it back in time for the Euros. But because he said, along with Kane, the pretty much guaranteed England starter up there, but hopefully he'll get it back by then. But yeah, it's really weird against us. I think he just really overthinks everything he does. But yeah, we were. I mean, I thought a couple of, Harry Maguire was excellent. I give Maguire a lot of shit sometimes, mainly because I think he's been good sometimes, but I think sometimes he's just very irritating in some of the things he does and some of the decisions he makes, and a lot of it on the ball he just spends too long. But yeah, I thought he was fantastic yesterday. One of the probably the best performances he's had for us. Matic and Fred were really good in the middle of the park, even with like Matic's red card. I thought they both did really well in there.
The first caution he got, I thought was bullshit. I don't think that should have been a caution.
Oh, that first booking was complete nonsense. He barely touched him. Wasn't breaking up an attack or anything. It's not like they were like Mahrez was going away from his goal basically. And in the first half, like Rodri jumped in on Lingard, no booking. So I don't know why that constituted as a booking. It made no sense.
I haven't been that impressed with Rodri at all. I mean, I don't watch City that closely, but even when they destroyed us at Old Trafford, but it wasn't like, he was playing some masterclass back there. And he just hasn't really looked all that convincing, but it is his first season, so I don't know. But with Maguire, I agree. I thought that was maybe his best performance. For us.
Which is odd because at one point he literally did pass them the ball 6 yards out.
Yeah. It was. I mean, that was a terrible mistake. But other than that, I actually can't think. And he saved. I mean, he got that challenge in on Sterling when Sterling was through. Sterling probably would have hit it 50 yards over anyway. But still, he did that. I thought there was that one chance that Aguero almost smashed it into the top corner, but De Gea stopped him. But Maguire actually did a really good job to track him across the box. Yeah, and then like some of the I know what you mean with Maguire, where like some of his on the ball sometimes it seems like he's not as confident as he was at Leicester yet, so he takes forever to do something with it. And yesterday, I thought he was actually much better. I thought he was decisive. And he played a few really nice like line breaking passes right through the middle into the midfielders, which is, that's one of my really major gripes with Lindelof is he just refuses to, unless it's a pass directly like a straight line in front of him, he refuses to play these like passes into gaps. There were multiple times yesterday where Fred was like trying to get the ball from him, and he kept telling Fred to go wide. But Wan-Bissaka was already there, so it made no sense for Fred to like go congest that area even more. I don't know. It was just like I thought Maguire was really good yesterday, and maybe should have done better with his chance in the second half, though.
Well, he can't seem to head from our attacking corners. I don't know why. I actually think, like, generally his heading, it's not. There's never really much direction on his defense head. He just gets his big fat head on it, and then it goes miles away from our box. I think it's kind of the same approach to his attacking headers. He just gets his big fat head on it, and then there's no real like direction to it or anything. Whenever he's had chances, which haven't been tons, but yeah, you'd expect more from him. And that one, it wasn't. The delivery was on his head, but it kind of like. I'm not a massive fan of Fred's set play deliveries. They're not whipped in the right way for me. They're a
little too lofty, I think, sometimes.
They're a bit of a mishmash, and like that one was a bit. I don't know. They never look right. I don't know if that makes any sense. But yeah, I thought overall it was a really good performance from him, especially because Shaw was okay next to him, good defensively, not great on the ball. Lindelof was okay on the other side of him, a couple of bad errors. They were getting in on his side, on Lindelof's side a lot, but I thought that might be because Wan-Bissaka was kind of like, there was a bigger gap between Lindelof and Bissaka than there was between Shaw and Williams.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether that's because Bissaka was just knackered, because, Bissaka looks knackered at the moment anyway, or because he was getting caught up the pitch a lot because he was trying to attack, which, Wan-Bissaka should never try to attack. He's a tackling robot that we are trying to reprogram to do other things, and then in his head he can't understand what these other things are.
One of the most frustrating things with him is he doesn't actually even need to necessarily like be really good at dribbling sometimes. He just like there'll be so much space in front of him, and he has great pace. So like you just want him to kick the ball basically and go, but he just doesn't do that. And I'm sure some of this is like because he played at Palace, and I doubt that he had. I don't think he was probably expected to be like an option in attack nearly as much. So that's part of it. But there are just times where it's like, just go. Like there's nobody in front of you. There's yards that you can just eat up. Just carry the ball forward and it's fine. But he just takes too much time on it. But yeah, I mean, also like you touched on, I do think that he is absolutely just shot right now. He looks, even some of his recoveries are, it feels like he's a half step slower than he was to start the year. And I mean, this is his first time playing in a team that has all these different competitions that they're in, and not just in, but into the semifinal of the League Cup. We had the 2 FA Cup matches just recently against Wolves, who we play at the weekend for the 450th time this year. Obviously Europa. It's a lot of competitions for him compared to what he was used to at Palace. So, hopefully Delo being healthy again, he can kind of take some of that burden from him.
It's amazing that he used to be a winger, really. Like, it's astounding considering he has so little wing play.
So, he was a winger, but then Delo was a right back, and I feel like it should have been the opposite because Delo sucks at defending. And seems way more comfortable getting forward and kind of playing in the opposition third, whereas Wan-Bissaka, he's just way more comfortable defending. But
it's interesting because you don't actually get many fullbacks these days they're more comfortable at usually you get fullbacks who can go forward and then just can't defend, and then they just use their pace to make up for it. Thinking like Danny Rose as a prime example, who has gone to Newcastle today randomly.
Historic club, he called it.
There's a prime example, or even like going back in our like Alexander Butner, not terrible going forward. Actually, got a couple of goals, but
goal on his debut
for absolute shit. And that's kind of like your fullback. But then Wan-Bissaka, it's just he can defend so very well. But then going forward and I really don't like to see him as a wing back. Like when so much is relied on him on our right side. And to be fair, even when he's part of a back four, a lot of them is relying on him for our right side because of who we've got on that right wing. It's not great, really. But then I'm not sure how he would do as a right centre back.
I think Lindelof plays him into trouble a lot, though, too. It feels like he always pretends like he wants to make some progressive pass through lines, and then once they're set, then he plays it to Wan-Bissaka, and it's like it always feels like it takes so much fucking longer on his side for anything to happen. And I actually am not that often that critical of Lindelof. I think he's been fine this year, but our lack of competition for him is annoying, which is that's not really on him. But it's like sometimes in possession, he just takes so long. I mean, how many times do you have to see him get the ball and then extend his arms outward, telling people to go somewhere? It's like just play a pass or get on with it. Like you're not.
Well, both him and Maguire are guilty of that. That's why I like Maguire yesterday, because he actually wasn't fannying about so much. Apart from the one time he did fanny about and he gave the ball away, so that kind of showed it. But then, like, we were doing all that tiki-taka stuff at the back yesterday.
And I just think with Lindelof, though, he seems like like Maguire. I agree, he has the same issue, but he doesn't seem panicky, right? Like he doesn't seem like he's so nervous to get rid of the ball. It genuinely feels like he's not sure where he should pass it. But like I'm not that worried when he has the ball that he's going to lose it or do something stupid. Whereas with Lindelof, it's like the same thing, but I worry that he's going to do something stupid, and he did do multiple stupid things yesterday. Like that back pass to De Gea was ridiculous. What the hell was that? And then he was like laughing afterwards, and I'm like, man, that's not funny at all. Don't do that. And then he had that one with him and Lingard. Oh my god,
that was infuriating. I get the idea that we're trying to pass it out and like we got a bit of joy to actually, because once you found that pass that broke the lines, and then Matic or Fred turned quite nicely, then we were in on them. And I get that, like I get trying to play it out, but then if it's getting to the point where you're actually like the passes you're playing are very difficult, or you're having to loft the pass, or you're trying to rush the pass, at that point you probably think, well, I probably should get rid now. But we don't really play that, I mean, our overall intelligence of play can be questioned at times. But when you like Lingard, obviously not playing with the most highest regard of intelligence at the moment, and yeah, it's just at that point there you've just got to get rid. I think we didn't really. One problem yesterday was we didn't really know when it was time to actually just get rid of it.
Yeah,
That was the one complaint I had. I don't mind this passing it out. If it's a style of play that we're trying, then that's fine. But then you've got to kind of realize when it's time to not do that. But then Lingard was just terrible. I felt really sorry for him, actually.
I
felt
did
really
not.
sorry for Lingard. Because, well, I'll tell you why. Because he played against Tranmere, which is fine. Like Lingard can play against Tranmere, not a problem. So he plays against Tranmere. He scores a goal, quite a nice goal. I think there's a bit of confidence. Like, build someone back up slowly. You give them a bit of confidence. You build them back up. Well, what do? You just throw them straight back into the first team against City. And literally, I don't think there's anyone who thought that would go well. I don't think anyone thought, you know what, Lingard will really show him today, because it's just not happened for him this season. And I don't see it's incredibly unlikely it was going to happen for him yesterday. So I felt quite bad for him, because then he's just going to put him straight back to where he was. So like any good that the goal against Tranmere might have done for him is completely gone. Especially when you see Ole just bollocking him on the touchline. It's like, yeah, like, he's terrible. What can you do?
That one with Lindelof, the reason it was so infuriating was they actually had played it forward to Lingard, and then he carried the ball back into the fucking corner. And then, him and Lindelof like decided they needed to try and 1-2 and get out of there, and it was almost a disaster. But yeah, I mean, it was the thing with Lingard that's really infuriating this year is, in the past, whatever his issues, which usually were, not taking chances in the attacking third, like not taking risks. But like he was at least dependable in terms of keeping possession. His first touch and like control was okay. And now he's not even doing that. And his pressing has gone to shit too. So he'll lose multiple times yesterday. He lost possession, and then he's just jogging back. And two of their most dangerous chances that they created kind of after their initial 15, 20 minutes, where they really, were dominant. After that, I thought it was fairly even, but when they did get a couple of chances, two of them were directly because Lingard wasted opportunities to kind of like get us going forward, and there was no excuse for it. He overran the ball once or twice, and then another time, he just completely missed a simple pass to Fred, and it's just getting to the point where like he's not just preventing you from. Like he's not just worthless in attack now. He's also a liability because he's like he is giving the ball away in dangerous positions, like in transition when we're trying to get numbers forward, and then all of a sudden they have a chance to break at us. Just
that's it. It's not like when like like when Mata plays and then like those games where he just does nothing. Like it's not that he's doing. It's like he's actively like harming us with what he's doing. He's like both destroying our attacks, and then like a couple of times yesterday he didn't get fouled. He thought he got fouled, then he'd sit there and moan whilst they're breaking and everyone's running back, and he just like it's actively like not like destroying our attacks and putting us under a pressure that we don't need to be just from like basic footballing errors.
Like even if he was getting fouled, right, at a certain point, you have to adjust. You have to adjust to the game that's being officiated. You can't sit there and complain that you're getting fouled. Like that doesn't help anybody. And that was my issue, because I think on a couple of them I thought, okay, maybe on another day you get that, but yesterday was not that day. So at some point, after maybe the first 2-3 where you don't get these calls, you have to adjust to that. And he just didn't. And like you said, he'd get fouled, and then he would lay there and act like, fucking some crime had been committed against him. The funniest part was when Neville was saying Lingard has to do better there. Like, Gary, you've been watching this guy for 2 years. It's not going to happen, buddy. It's just not going to happen.
But I just don't know why we keep Ole keeps putting his faith in him, keeps putting him in these games, and it's got to stop now. I reckon that has to be the last one of these games that he plays in. Yeah. Nothing's changing. It's the same every time, basically. So yeah. Other than him, and then there was because like Martial didn't have a great game yesterday. I thought he was a bit. At times he resembled a trampoline. Like the ball was just bouncing off him, which is weird because his hold-up play is actually quite good and his technique's usually quite good.
Yeah, to start the match, there were a few chances we had to maybe hit them on the counter. We played direct to him, and he just there was one that came off his chest and it went 15 yards away, which is very, very unusual for him.
He was doing the exact opposite of what he did in the same fixture in December, basically. Mm-hmm. All the good stuff he was doing in December, he just wasn't doing really. I think without Rashford, he's just not the same guy, really.
Him and Rashford really Rashford seems to have become better independently this year without Martial, but you can tell that they have a pretty special connection on the pitch. They seem to really kind of play off of each other very well. Even I remember I was watching. Maybe it was an interview that Rashford did with, I want to say, Van Persie. And he was saying how, he gets excited when Martial is on the score sheet. He's talking about how that's really exciting for him and how much fun it is to play with him. So I don't know. And it's I guess they've kind of been through a lot of the same issues at the club. They've kind of had the same issues with managers. And they're a very similar age bracket, right? Came up around the same time. So I think there might be just kind of like a bond there that helps them when they get on the pitch. But yeah, I mean, Martial has to do better. I have some sympathy for him because, God knows that he wasn't getting much service from Lingard or anything. But, even at the times where he had chances to go at the defenders, it just really felt like he didn't have it yesterday. I'm not sure. He should be having any chance he gets to run at Otamendi. It should be that. I mean, other than Walker, that defense was just ready to give up goals. Otamendi and Cancelo, and I mean, I don't know. De Bruyne was playing some weird right back position.
Their formation was weird in general. It was a very odd formation. I swear at one point they had no right back.
It was just like a box in midfield too, right?
Yeah, it was very odd. I think with Martial, I don't know if he likes being this. We basically solely rely on him in attack basically now because James is out of form. Lingard obviously non-existent. Mata has been good in spurts in a couple of games recently, but
it's Mata.
He doesn't play in these games, understandably, because you can't really have someone with no legs playing in these games. So, and without Rashford, it's basically all on Martial. And I'm not sure that's something that he thrives in. I think he likes to be part of the overall system where he can do his thing in, but not be the one we kind of look towards. Because, I mean,
he likes doing these cute layoffs, and he likes kind of the teamwork aspect of it. I don't think he has that selfish burning desire to get goals. I don't think that's how he plays. It's not how he kind of operates. He's really clever with that's why him and Rashford play off each other so well, because I think Rashford does have that kind of necessary selfishness that you need to get goals.
Yeah.
But he also makes those runs, right? When Martial holds the ball up, Rashford will make those runs in behind. And I think Greenwood actually will probably get there. I mean, they haven't played that much together, so it's understandable if they don't have that kind of connection yet. But I mean, as soon as Greenwood went off and James came in, I mean, did you really think we were going to create something? And it's not even a knock on James, who I think has done as well as could be expected considering what he is. I mean, he was a £15 million player from the Championship, right? He's not. He was signed to be a squad player, not to be first choice right winger for us. and he also looks completely knackered to me too. So, I wasn't that surprised that nothing was created. But like, if James doesn't make those runs, he's not. He holds his width, right? He's not going to get into those channels and get in towards goal. So at that point, and then like Martial, I think because he wasn't getting service, he started dropping really deep, and at that point you don't have a focal point in your attack. It's just all very like it all kind of compounded on each other. With Martial, it's weird. I think that sometimes his body language gets people more angry at him than is deserved. But he needed to do better yesterday, and he didn't. I think it's that simple. And there are reasons for it, but it's like like you said. I mean,
we need more.
And when Martial was out, I think Rashford did. He caught a lot of criticism initially, but like for example against Spurs at home, Greenwood was a striker. Rashford played off him, but Rashford was fantastic that game. Like he dragged us forward at times. He was individually unplayable. Like he knew what he had to do and he did it. He delivered for the team. Martial hasn't had a performance like that in I don't know. I can't think of the last time where you felt like, oh, he dragged us. He got us these points, right? Individually, kind of. I want to say it's been years since he has had maybe a performance like that. So I don't know.
All I know is we need to. Well, I don't want to talk on transfers too much because we're recording this, as we said, on Thursday night. Deadline days tomorrow. By the time you hear this, it'll probably be gone already. But I really want us to get just any form of thing that resembles a human being that is a striker that is slightly above average. Just to be a body, just to have someone we can stick up front who might be able to get us a goal, because to rely on just Martial until Rashford's back that's crazy to me. Absolutely crazy.
Yeah, and I think what Ole said is actually so after the match they asked him. I mean, they were asking him about transfers, and I mean he made it pretty obvious. Like he wants another striker, and what did he said something like he wants a striker that will break his nose for goals, and it was like an odd phrase, but it actually makes sense because. I mean, what he's saying is even Rashford when he's in form and we don't have a striker that makes those gambles, right? Like that gambles on crosses and I mean, who was the last striker we had that made a fucking near post run? Who was the last one? Zlatan. It's just like we don't have a striker that scores those, the goals that aren't gonna look great on your YouTube highlight reel. Like we don't score those cheap goals, those kind of gritty goals that you need to turn 1 point into 3, to turn 0 points into 1. We depend a little bit too much on like these moments of brilliance and great interplay and counterattacking. But like you need somebody that, we're just gonna cross it into the box and you need to get on the end of it. I mean, look, say what you want about James's crossing or Wan-Bissaka's crossing and all these guys, but like I think over the course of the year we've seen countless times where they have put in good crosses into dangerous areas and nobody's even in the area, nobody's gambling on it, nobody's making a run, nobody's betting on themselves. Like you need a striker that can do that, and I mean it's obvious that's why he wanted Haaland, and the Jimenez link was interesting but not realistic. I don't see why Wolves would sell him in January, and if
well, that's why I'm happy that we have signed insert name here today. I'm delighted that he will do well for us.
Player X.
Yes, he will score lots of goals. So yeah. Anyway, only other thing I really want. A couple of things left on the City game, but Matic, red card aside, excellent again. Massively surprised since he's come back. Really, like I don't think anyone could have expected him to perform at how he has done. Just considering how shot he looked, I think. But then I'm looking at him. He is,
might have been good for him.
He has changed it. I think he's changed his game a bit because I think he's realised now that his body, he is like slow now, but the way he's using his frame is completely different. like to how he realizes that if he puts his body in between him and another player, that they're not going to get the ball off him. He's just too big and his legs are too long.
He's so calm under pressure too. It's like,
well, yeah, because he realized that he could,
yeah.
like if he has the ball and someone comes from behind him, he can just hold them off and they're not going to get the ball off him. Or he can just stride away from them with his massive long legs. And again, like you don't need pace if you've got long strides and a bit of acceleration, which he still does have. You don't need the pace. You can just stride away from players. And I think he's kind of changed his game a bit now to actually use what he still has, which is his frame, his height, and his legs. And I think he's doing really well with it.
Yeah, he was great. I mean, the goal was
Excellent.
Absolute rip. That was a hell of a hit. And I mean, it's kind of interesting because I think our defensive record this season with him is like, it's significantly better than without.
Well, he is our only holding,
yeah,
proper holding midfield, really.
Right, because Fred is more of an all-action, like box-to-box. He's going to go.
And so is McTominay, really.
Yeah, right, exactly. Neither of them is comfortable. I don't even think it's necessarily comfort. It's just their natural.
That's not their game.
Right. Their natural inclination is to kind of run around like terriers and go up and down the pitch and press and all that stuff. But yeah, I mean, it's him and Fred has actually been a really nice combination. I think at the base, it's just that lack of creativity from that third midfielder or the 10 or whoever.
Yeah,
that's been a really big problem. But like Fred, I mean, that guy, if he makes it through the season without any serious injury, man, what he is, I don't know what the hell. I don't even know how he has been able to get through some of this season because he puts in a shift every match. Whatever you want to say about him, his work rate is incredible.
No, he's been excellent, really. I mean, you can't complain about Fred this season. I think, there's still some doubters, but I don't really see it. Like, he is proper all-action midfielder. Wins the ball back, plays it around, just exactly what never stops running. Like, a couple of times yesterday, he would win the ball back out the pitch and then would launch a counter off that, or he would do a nice little, the ball when the ball finally came out from him from the back, he would do a nice little turn and we'd be off on our way.
He's really good at those. At like, if you can get the ball into him where he has a chance to turn, like he can break the lines with his dribbling really well, and that's super valuable for us. Especially if we're going to play this kind of like play out of the back style, you need to have somebody who's comfortable. I'm actually way more confident in his ability to do that than even Pogba, because I feel like Pogba has a tendency to dawdle in those positions.
Yeah, overcomplicate things.
Yeah, right. And I think Fred just keeps it simple, which is nice. But like, yeah, I mean, the other thing that he does is he's gotten a lot better at knowing when he needs to just make those one-touch passes. Because I think one of his main issues when he first got to United and was adjusting to the Premier League was taking, like, he thought he had more time than he had, right? The league is just way faster than it is in Ukraine. So that was a big adjustment for him. So, yeah, I mean, I really like his commitment. I think this is the second time we played City, and I thought he was, again, the best midfielder on the pitch.
It's just amazing that all his ability evaporates whenever he gets near the opposition box. Like, literally, it all disappears. Everything. Not just, we all know his shooting is terrible, but then even his touch and passing, it just completely, as soon as he gets near the opposition box, it just evaporates. He gets Space Jam. He becomes Michael Jordan in Space Jam. It is wild.
The monsters take his power.
So at this point, am I allowed to have a rant about this free kick at the end of the game?
Yeah, one thing I just want to say is I think
go on.
I think all that great attacking, that's the third season. That's the next adjustment. That's going to come next year.
I was irrationally angry at this free kick at the end of the game. Literally, I went to bed angry about a fucking free kick. A free kick, which really, what percentage of free kicks are scored? Probably quite low, right? Direct free kick.
It's probably under it might be under 5% even.
Yeah, it's probably I don't know the XG stats, but it's probably a low percentage chance, right? And yet, I was absolutely livid about this fucking kick for many reasons. One, because we had 10 men. So really, our only opportunity is going to come from a set piece. Really. We're not going to break the lines, right? We're not going to swamp them and get the ball back. And really, we're going to get a corner. We're going to get a free kick. That's going to be our play. And City knew this as well, because you can tell by De Bruyne's reaction to him giving the free kick away. Like, they knew that was our only way back into the game. And Ole put Mata on the pitch after the red card. And if Ole's doing that, he must think, I can't think of any reason other than we're putting you on for set pieces, because if we get a set piece, we need a good delivery. And that's one of Mata's strong points, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, just fucking shove Phil Jones on and wang the ball upfield and he can cause havoc, because that's the only other way you're going to do it is...
Phil Jones only takes corners.
That's true. But anyway, so Mata is on the pitch. Fred is there. Fred is literally one of the worst people at shooting I've ever seen in my life. Ever. Because it is wild. When Fred strikes a football, it is properly wild. He literally just swings his foot at it, and sees what happens. Like, sometimes he'll catch it quite nicely, and I think he hit the bar once this year, or the post or something. Mm-hmm. But it's because his shots are so friggin' wild that anything could happen. Anything. There's no real rhyme or reason to it. But let's put this fucking guy on our free kick at the end of the game. Yes, that's a great idea, as opposed to this fucking Mata who scored more free kicks for us than anyone in our squad. Brilliant, lads. Brilliant. What great thinking that is. Jesus fucking Christ, that annoyed me. And now I'm annoyed again.
I think after the match, Ole said that Mata had told him that Fred had a really good day the day before in training, taking set pieces.
Oh, brilliant.
But it's like, I mean, at that point, it doesn't. You have to play the percentages, not your feeling. Like we've seen Mata. Mata has scored from those. I wasn't that upset about it, but like I understood why people were. But you have to just. Mata has scored from those positions so many times. Even last year against Juventus, he scored from there, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, we've seen it countless times, right? That you put him in these positions around the box. He's one of the best at being able to get it over. I mean, because it's a tight range you have. He's one of the best at getting it over the wall, but still on target. And yeah, I have no idea why he didn't take that. That was very bizarre.
Thing is, he probably wouldn't have scored because, like I said, it's quite a low percentage chance. But god damn, it annoyed me because I there was something building in this game for me. Like when City were fluffing all these ridiculous chances they had,
it felt like we were supposed to.
It was like, hang on, there's something in this here. And then Matic got sent off. I was like, oh, maybe not then. But then we got this free kick, and I got so excited. And then Fred went. And then, I mean, nobody thought Fred was going to score that, really. So
only Fred and his mom probably.
This is I think Fred thinks he's amazing at shooting.
Do you think Fred thinks he's better at shooting than Rojo thinks he is at shooting?
That's a tough one, that, because I think Rojo thinks he's the best shooter of all time. But I think Fred thinks he is properly fantastic at it. And which is a slight problem because someone should go to him and say, Fred, you're pretty shit at this.
Yeah, I was reading an article on The Athletic, and I think Fred has I don't remember what the qualifications were, but it was of players that had taken X amount of shots, he had it was I don't remember if it was the worst or it was one of the worst shooting accuracies in the league, in the Premier League this season. So I mean, yeah, it's the other problem though is I think that's also just symptomatic of us, our inability to create good chances. And I mean, on his thread in the calf, it's like a fucking disaster zone where you get all these people that go in there and are like, well, Fred doesn't have a goal and an assist. He doesn't have a goal or an assist this year. And it's I mean, I looked at I was just looking it up after I read through that thread yesterday. I was looking it up. Fabinho has 1 goal and 1 assist.
Yeah.
It's that's just not a position where if you get 5 goals in a season from a player like that, essentially a defensive box-to-box type of player, like an all-action destroyer type, if you got 5 goals from that player in a season, that's huge, that's massive. At most, you're looking at 3 goals in a season. It's just not that big of a deal if he doesn't have a goal or an assist this season.
Yeah, he doesn't need to assist anything for me. Like, just do your work.
Yeah, right.
Leave that to everyone else.
Get it to the play. Like the thing is, if instead of Lingard now we have Bruno, some of these passes, right? Fred might just get an assist because he plays a pass to Bruno, and Bruno can actually shoot from 15, 20 yards out, and that'll be an assist, right? Like that's what's some of these assists, especially assists, right? I mean, that's like you see some of the assists that get recorded. It'll be like, somebody passes it to Rashford, he takes 3 guys on, and then he scores.
It's like in the 8-2 game against Arsenal, Ashley Young got two assists because he literally stopped the ball for Wayne Rooney on his free kicks.
Right, it was like 2 goals, 2 assists, right?
Yeah, the best assist ever. But no, I get what you mean. Like he doesn't. I genuinely do not care if he doesn't score a single goal for us. If he keeps playing like he is playing, I don't give a shit. Like it's not his job.
And he will shoot less. I think if we have
give a toss.
I think.
The thing was, he was shooting less yesterday, actually. There was a couple of times yesterday where it was opening for him. I was like, oh, fuck, please don't shoot, Fred. And then he'd fake a shot and pass it. I was like, that's brilliant, Fred. You're a genius. Now you've worked out that you can't shoot. You actually are laying it off. But what I didn't realise was that he was building it up for his big crescendo. He was teasing us all and saying, wait, just you wait until I show you this freak. Fuck off, man.
I have to. He has a really funny tweet on his page. I just want to read this to you because the first time I saw it, it was hilarious. So after he played his 50th match for United, he has a tweet. Remember, this is his Twitter. Very proud of you to complete 50 games with the Man United shirt. Just
what a
congratulating guy. Himself.
Oh. You have best shot in league.
Yeah, but
remember. But anyway, you mentioned Bruno, so maybe we should talk about Bruno. We have signed a footballer.
Yes. So I think I'll just do it right now. So Bruno Fernandes, this long saga has come to an end. United agreed a deal with Sporting Lisbon. So it's an initial 55 million euros.
And it's very likely we'll pay the 15 million extra because it's based on appearances and Champions League qualification, basically. So.
Yes, there's 5 million. So for his first 25 appearances, every 5 matches, they get 1 million. So
yeah,
that's 5 million, right? Yeah. And then the other 5 is like get into Champions League once over the next 5 years. And look, I know that we're absolutely shit, but you'd think over a 5-year period we'll fluke a Champions League appearance at least once, right?
Yeah, I mean, I would hope so. But no, I mean, he is, by all accounts, by hands down the best player in the Portuguese league.
Right.
I mean, the standard of that league, like withstanding, that is basically the consensus is he is by far the best player there. So I mean, some talent. I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm Mr. Bruno aficionado or anything. But what I do know is he can score a goal. He's got quite a few goals this season as well. I think last season he scored a couple as well, and he can take a good set piece, take a good penalty.
Yeah,
I'm already pretty happy with that. But I mean, the good thing about a guy who can shoot from long range is that everything else changes in football when you move like the pace of the league, standard of players you're playing with. But the size of the goal stays the same. Size of the pitch stays the same. So in theory, if you can wang it in from 30 yards in Portugal, you can wang it in from 30 yards in England. That's quite, exciting. But then we're also very good at making players who are good at one thing somewhere else shit with us. So that's also something to consider. But on the whole, I'm very positive. Looking forward to seeing him. Yeah, I'm very excited.
I was looking at some of his just statistical production. And yeah, I mean, I think he led the Portuguese league in through balls. He averaged more line breaking passes than even Pogba did. I mean, granted, obviously, one is doing it in a much better, top 2 league in the world. The other is doing it in Portugal, which is I hate calling these leagues shit, right? I mean, it is what it is, but it's a secondary league. It's a secondary league.
It is, but then it's how people come to the Eredivisie all the time, which is very much secondary league, and then some are Luis Suarez and some are Kesman.
Oh God, Cashman.
Yeah,
That's a
exactly.
blast
Oh,
from the past.
you know what I mean? Portugal, some can be Cristiano Ronaldo, or you can be Ricky Van Wolfswinkel. You know, can I just say, I thought Ricky Van Wolfswinkel was going to be the shit.
Was he? He went to Norwich, right?
Yep, I spent
Yeah.
all summer telling people this guy's going to score shit my goals. Put him in my fantasy team, made him captain the first week. I was all in on Ricky Van Wolfswinkel. That went well.
Then you get like the weirdos, like what was it? Remember Michu? He just had that one season.
Oh,
where
he
scored,
was brilliant that one when Swansea won the League Cup. He was
yeah.
excellent that season. Excellent, but it literally like it can just vary. Like for every one, you get another one. So I think the main things to think about is one, he's coming in the middle of the season, so it's fairly reasonable to suggest that we actually won't see much from him this season. Like that's not
One thing working in his favor though is we have the winter break, so
True.
he'll actually get like 2 weeks to just do. I mean, yeah, he'll still need adjustment, but I think at least you can expect, even if he's adjusting to the pace of the league, you can at least hope to see some decent understanding between him and teammates, which is a lot harder if there was no break and you just come in and drop him in. And he's probably going to start against Wolves.
I mean, he might have to now. Matic is suspended, but I mean, that's one. The main reason I'm happy about this is because he is a person that exists with legs that we can play in football matches. Like, it's at that point now where and that is genuinely the reason why I'm pretty happy. Like, just give me a player, put him in there, great. Let's see how he does.
I'm just happy because he's like, we've all been saying it, right? Like that's like the biggest problem area in the team is if you're going to play 4-2-3-1, but your 10 is fucking Lingard or Pereira, you're just not. I mean, it's not going to happen for you. So I think it's like, it's like round hole, round peg. It's not one of these things where, let's get Alexis and then move Martial to the right, even though he's in form, and then have Alexis turn into, fucking Depay or some shit. It actually makes sense, his purchase, and he has a clear, a clear role where he can just be put in and you should be good. Even as he's adjusting, I find it very hard to believe he won't be better than Lingard. Or Pereira. I think it'd be impossible for him to be worse than Lingard because if he scores one goal in the league from now to the end of the season,
there's no way he can be worse than Lingard. That can't happen. Yeah.
What would you have to? What would you have to do to be worse than Lingard?
Assault Rashford on the pitch. Break Rashford's legs. That would make him worse than Lingard, I guess. Don't know. Well, I mean, I'm going to Wolves on Saturday. I was after going to Burnley on a weeknight and watching us dire our way to 2-0 loss, which was quite depressing. I was tempted to, and then someone offered to take my ticket for the Wolves game. I was like, I'm considering it, but now we've signed Bruno, I'll definitely be going. So I'm interested. At the very least, he'll come off the bench, but he might even start now because of Matic. Otherwise, it'll have to be Fred, Pereira, Mata.
Yeah, it has to be
and Fred and Pereira is not a good midfield.
Well, it's like the thing is, Pereira sucks
unless he goes for this 3 at the back thing, which he keeps doing.
But like even then, you need somebody that holds and like, I mean, at this point, I think you have to just take a chance with Garner or something.
But he's not going to. Otherwise, he would have done by now. Like he literally would have done. He would have done by now.
He just got back though, I think, right, from an injury, I believe.
Yeah, maybe. But I just think, I mean, even when he wasn't injured in the early part of the season, I think he I think he's fine playing him in some games, but I think a Premier League game, I just don't think he's gonna.
Yeah, I don't think he thinks he's physically ready. Which, I mean, fair enough. Like I saw in one of the Europa matches, he just got absolutely ragdolled by somebody a couple times. So I understand the concern, but it's like there's no benefit to even like playing Pereira there that's not a risk. That's just knowing you're gonna give up a goal or two at least, right? Like that's not a risk. That's just a known quantity that sucks. Like I think you have to take a chance here. I think you have to because, I mean, we've seen it every single time Fred and Pereira play together in midfield. We suck, and it's a disaster.
That's why I think he'll go for. I think he'll go for the three at the back thing again. Whether that be Jones will come back in or he'll keep Shaw as left centre back.
Maybe we can recall Rojo from loan for this one.
Yeah. We'll buy Rojo. Thank you, you mad bastard. My favorite memory of Marcus Rojo will be that game. There was a game last season. Can't remember who it was against, but Bailly basically went in 2-footed on someone. Didn't get sent off, luckily. Got injured. So Rojo had to come on. Within 2 minutes, Rojo then went and 2-footed someone. It was brilliant. Like, that is Rojo. He literally from the bench saw Eric Bailly lunging someone, thought, fuck, I need a piece of that.
I have two favorite memories of Rojo. The first was eating the banana on the pitch that Mourinho gave him, and then giving Mourinho a big thumbs up. That was good. And then was the Rabona this year.
When he was just doing what he wants at left back.
Yeah, I mean, look,
he's a madman.
I mean, he was never. I mean, he was always injured, so he had a couple of decent runs, but like, yeah, he'd always get injured once he actually worked himself into some kind of form. So it's impossible to really. Yeah, but he was such a fun. I wish I could imbue the confidence he played with in so many of our players, because like I mean that though genuinely, because he never, whatever his flaw was never like, he never felt like the weight of the world was on his shoulders, right? And I feel like a lot of these players, you watch them and they seem so, and I understand it, obviously it's very understandable given our situation and everything, but you do wish sometimes that some of these guys would just take risks and just play. And for whatever that was worth, Rojo never had any problem with confidence, so I'll miss him.
Yeah, all the best to Rojo. But yeah, on the Wolves, like, I actually think, like, when we play Wolves, like, it always strikes me just how evenly matched we are with them. Like, we are quite on the same level as Wolves, which I don't know whether that's an insult to us or a compliment to them or what, but like, whenever we play them, it's really tight.
It's cagey,
like,
yeah.
It's a draw. It's a 1-goal win either side. I think we've drawn more with them than anything, but it's very tight because like they are a good side. In Jimenez, they're an excellent. He's an excellent striker as Jimenez. Matinho, Neves, excellent midfielders. They're just a very good side. So we'll have to we'll if we beat them on Saturday after the last Old Trafford, which was the Burnley shit show, then we'll be doing all right, I think.
I mean, if we get 3 points there, that would be, especially considering the midfield situation, I think that would be a really great result.
And the strike situation.
Right. And so it's funny you bring that up, because you've seen the Spider-Man meme, right? Where like it's like the two Spider-Mans, they point at each other. That's us and Wolves, because we both were very, very good in counterattack, very good in transition, struggle to break teams down that sit there and just dare you to break them down. That's been like their problem for the last 2 years, right? That's why they have such a good record against the top teams, and then they always lose. Like they fucking lost to Newcastle, draw to Aston Villa, stuff like that. It's the same thing that we have. We have that same issue.
Well, last season they lost twice to Huddersfield.
Right?
Yeah, which was hilarious. We're just very similar, and also Saturday will be the chance to witness the beast Adama Traore in action yet again. Absolute monster, that man. His end product is all over the place, but damn, if it's not fun just watching him blast past players.
You can't really take the ball off him. That's the most amazing thing.
He's an absolute unit. He's basically a rugby league player.
Yeah, he looks like a running back.
All right, crazy. The American, whatever.
I'm just saying, we have good sports here too.
My one American football game of the year is on Sunday, I guess. So I'll watch that and pretend like I know what I'm talking about. But no, I'm hoping we win. I think it'll probably be a draw. Usually is with Wolves.
It feels
Yeah.
like a 1-1.
Yeah, it does. Or 2, or if we score 2 goals. Maybe our new striker signing, insert name here, come with the goods.
Yeah. It's so funny seeing all the different strikers that you just randomly get linked to at the end of the window. I never even knew that this human being named William Jose or Jose William existed, but apparently he does, and we're totally trying to get him in on loan. Solomon Rondon also trying to get him in on loan from China.
I would welcome any of them with open arms. Any of them.
I would actually really like Rondon. I think he's a fucking unit, man. That guy is so gigantic. He's the exact type of profile of striker we're missing, right?
I wouldn't mind. Like, it's only literally it's for like 6 months. Who, like, if it doesn't work out, who cares? Like, it's worth a punt. Anything's worth a punt at this point, really. And if it's a loan, even better, because then it's not exactly like we're wasting any money or anything. But yeah, I remember watching Newcastle Liverpool last May, and Rondon absolutely beasted. I mean, it was only Dejan Lovren, but I mean, he absolutely beasted him for like a good portion of that game. And I think he did really well at Newcastle last season. They were disappointed to have to let him go, but I obviously Ashley wanted to pump up cash and thought he'd go for the amazing player that is Zhao Linton instead. Another masterstroke.
The thing that's annoying about these loans is like it feels like this dick measuring contest where no, we'll do the loan, but we have to have an option to buy, and it's like just get the guy on loan, just get him on loan. Like you're not. This isn't about winning a negotiation or
You clearly you've not been talking to Ed Woodward's PR machine, have you?
No, Neil Ashton, legend. No, it's just, but you know what I mean. It's just like, who cares if it's just a short-term thing? Like right now, that's all that matters, right? You just need a body, get a fucking body. It doesn't matter who the body. Like just get somebody in who's a functional human being,
who might score a goal.
Yeah, and that's it, and that's fine. Even if they suck, who cares? What is it? What did it cost you? Wages for half a season? Nobody gives a shit, other than fucking Woodward probably.
Speaking of Woodward, we should probably talk about his house.
Yes.
I heard it's a five bedroom, lovely, lots of en suites.
Yeah, very very traumatic event, having a flare thrown into his backyard.
But you think it's a conspiracy, don't you?
I think it's pretty interesting that the sun just happened to be there. Why is the sun there? Why were they at his fucking house?
I think these conspiracy things are hilarious. I don't think it is one. I think it is literally just because, I mean, ultimately, you can always rely on football fans being morons. Like, that is something that you can always rely on. You can always rely on football fans being twats.
Were you there? Be honest.
Oh yeah, obviously, yeah, I'm the biggest twat of all. But like, you can always rely on football fans to take things too far, and yeah, that is a prime example of taking things too far. I mean, it's not like frigging prayers for his family or anything. I mean, no one was in the house and it was a flare, but I mean, still, it's not great, not clever. It's just fucking stupid. And all it actually does is encourage sympathy for the man who doesn't really deserve any sympathy because he's a fucking idiot. But stupid. Don't condone it. Yada yada yada.
Yeah, look. I mean, if it's legit, obviously, it's stupid and it's just dumb. And I mean, I understand why people are pissed, but it's like, come on, like that's the dumbest way to get your point across. You're not generating any sympathy. Like you're actually working against your own kind of objective at that point. Because all that's happened since then is hearing all these sob stories about how sympathetic a figure fucking Woodward is. After running this club in the ground for 6 years. So, I mean, just, be better than that. But, I mean, is there the Woodward thing is just annoying, man. Like, if all he did is hire a good technical director, someone to oversee the football and just sign checks, nobody would care about Woodward.
Because old white men love to give up power.
Yes, that's something they're very well known for. But it's just so frustrating. It's like
I shouldn't probably say that on a podcast with no white people on it.
That's true.
Colm was meant to be joining us, but he bailed. I think he didn't want to hang out with the ethnics. So.
Yeah, he said that he didn't like being outnumbered.
He didn't like being the minority.
Yeah, I don't know. It's all, and it's like, and in all these at the end of every fucking transfer window, we get these. Oh, United are negotiating for. They're very deep into conversations with XYZ to become their first technical director, and it's like, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So don't tell me that. Like, we're all just surprised we even got Bruno across the line here in January.
I mean, I do want. Like, there was all the talk about the walkout on the 58th minute, which was a dumb idea. Not the walkout.
Not happening now,
though? I mean, it kind of lost steam. I think it's lost steam a bit. I mean, I've not really heard much about it. Unless there's a big movement at the game, then I can't see it happening. It's too early, but 58 minutes is very early in a game to make a point. Yeah. Like, you could easily do it at 75 minutes. I think if it was an actual thing, like if someone told me 75 minutes, leave your seat as a protest, I'd be like, all right, yeah, 15 minutes, get on early.
15 is for the
which is a bad
thing, right?
Yeah, which isn't not great to put a protest.
That doesn't make sense. How is that honoring that?
It's not really. It's using a tragedy to make a point, which is dreadful idea. So I mean, it's just it makes no sense. Like, ultimately, Newcastle fans have always talked about doing these things, but it's really hard to get off. It's really difficult to get a whole stadium of people to do one thing. I mean, if you could coordinate something, it's especially like at Old Trafford, like with a lot of day trippers, like a lot of people have paid a lot for their tickets. Like, it's all right with me saying it. Like, I'm a season ticket holder. Like, I'll go to the next game, but someone who's travelled over from Sweden to watch a game, it's tough to ask them to leave their seat however many minutes into a game when it's probably it might be the only game they get to see this season. So it's tough. I mean, ultimately the chants have been like louder than they've ever been, really. Especially directed at Woodward. The Glazier chants were always there, like on the green and gold, but now they kind of stopped, and now they're back again. But now with Ed Woodward on top of them, so it'd be interesting to see how that continues now with the house thing, and now we actually have signed Bruno Fernandes, and probably people will be happy about that. So it'd be interesting to see what happens. There won't be a walkout, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I guess.
Not if Neil Ashton has anything to say about it.
Well, no. If there is a walkout, it'll be Ed Woodward engineered walkout in solidarity. Ed Woodward is a man of the people.
Protesting against himself.
Ed Woodward, really humble. #humble. Yeah. So it'll be an interesting game on the pitch, off the pitch. So, but hopefully we'll win.
Yeah, I think so. Let's hope we get a result at least. So.
Anything else?
I don't think so. I think that's about everything.
Yeah, we don't really want to talk. We lost since our last recording. We lost to Liverpool. Don't really want to talk about it. Played all right. They scored. Upsetting. We beat Tranmere 6-0. Phil Jones got muddy. Anything else?
No, that's it.
Cool.
Right.
Be sure to our lovely colleague Race was on what was the radio?
Some British thing.
He was on some British thing this morning, some radio thing. It's in the Fred on Red Cafe. Please check it out. We're bigging up our squad, and if you like us, obviously, leave some feedback. Follow us on Twitter, yada yada yada. And if you hated me at my appearance on the pod, don't worry, I probably won't be back on again for the rest of the season.
All right. Well, good night for me.
Cheers.